So now let's have today's presenter.
Thank you, Elijah. I'll take it over from here. Thank you. So it was first time for Elijah to have presided over all the singing, hymnal singing before we start actually CVDIP Bartizan. So it was his first time. So please pray for him to stand firm in within the Christ of Jesus so that he can be the part of CVDIP Bartizan team and receive just as much of the grace that you guys receive. And let's begin today's CVDIP Bartizan of 2024. It's the very first presenter of the new year 2024. But before introducing our presenter, I would like to first give the introduction and introduce about our panel. The first panel is our dearest assistant pastor, Ma'am Joan. Let's give a big round of applause. And our second panel is the assistant pastor, Sel. And our last panel is the remnant minister, Peter Kim. And I would like to give today's presenter. Introduction of our presenter is Rebecca Maeng, Mihye Maeng, and she's the first year of the University of CEU, and then she's majoring the education. I've actually have more detailed. Yes, she's now a student of the Central Escala University and majoring in the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education with special needs. So without any further ado, let's actually listen to her evidence and how she is actually standing as the evidence and witness of the CVDIP Bartizan of this year, 2024. Let's give a big round of applause.
Okay, Christ morning, everyone. Okay. I am Remnant Missionary Rebecca Maeng. And can you turn to the page of PPT? Okay, this is my PPT. Yeah, okay, I will start. As you all know that I am Pastor Kid. Yeah, I am Pastor Kid. So, I just want to ask one thing. What comes to your mind when you listen the word of Pastor Kid? I will just pick one. Nicole, what do you think about? Like, what comes to your mind when you think about Pastor Kid? Huh? Avoiding the church? Always in the church. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. What about Somang? What about Timothy Chang? What comes to your mind when you think about the word Pastor Kid? What comes to your mind? Okay, or Eisen. Remnant Eisen. What comes to your mind when you think about the Pastor Kid? Just anything. Always in the church. Okay, thank you. Actually, commonly, most of the church members answer me that you are different or you're a spiritual summit. However, for me, if I can describe myself or the PK in the church is really blind spot. And simply explain my journey before I came to the Philippines. It was so headache, even to myself. And it means my true covenant journey really started in the harvester. Okay, the first of all, simply my covenant is John 19:30, Galatians 2:20, and 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. As all of you know, I am so extrovert, right? So, and I really like to be with people. So happiness for me was talking or doing something with people. It means all the happiness came from people. Thus, I live my life centered on the people, such as going to the church for the church members and going to the schools for my friends. Yeah. And then not for God, yeah, going to the church. Since it was my happiness, but at the same time, it was the way that I faced my problems. Before I came to the Philippines, I was really good at rapping myself. I was always pretend to be happy, even though I was not. But after I came to the RUTC, I cannot hide myself anymore. Since we are sharing 24 here, right? We sleep together, eat together, talking together, worship together, right? And one day, something that had been deeply accumulated for a long time in personal relationship came out. It was my spiritual problem. It was a time for me to realize the gospel and find out my covenant. To find a covenant which are these Bible verses, there were RUTC system, my first time fasting, and especially one-to-one coach with teacher Harim. With that, I was able to get into concentration alone and get curious about 7 core verses among the church system. So I started to edit the 7 core verses with the way observation lectures. And it was Genesis 6:14 turn, way observation meditation day. God poured on the blessing to realize the meaning of the John 19:30. Then I realized that it's right, that he really finished everything already because he did not think as the problem which I considered as problem before. I could truly realize what is the fundamental problem and Genesis chapter 3 problem. As I realized the fundamental problem, Christ became the only answer. From there, my life started to change. How? Galatians 2:20. Christ already died on the cross and gave the life to me, so my life is not mine anymore, but I live for Christ. So, God opened my eyes to see the field. Thus, I was able to interest about evangelism and started to share the gospel. From there, all my standard of happiness and life center turned to Christ, not people anymore. And as I enjoyed the gospel, prayer, and evangelism, God made me to experience the new creation. Therefore, I could interpret my life. Actually, the reason why I came to the Philippines is not I was headache, but according to the lay pastor prayer, may you send here the remnant who will carry out the remnant movement and word evangelization. That is the reason why I'm here. I realize it. And little by little, God guided me to be only and made me conclude with Christ only. As God showed me the disaster and curse in the world, and also how Satan is ruling and conquering the world through me and the field. So I really saw the needs of the gospel and urgent of sharing this gospel in this world. So God gave me this vision of word evangelization as Angeles Peer Evangelism, Jew and 3 organization evangelism. To discover and embrace as mine, God allowed me to meet 8 people when I was grade 12. From there, God enlarged my vessel and have a proper vision that is coming from the Bible and our lay pastor for me to carry out God's will. And amazingly, the vision that 8 people shared to me was also mentioned by Rebel U during the vision's message. And I realized that the vision that our lay pastor saw is the vision that God wants me to have my vision the most. Actually, before I met 8 people, my vision only focused on my past and just my standard. So for this vision, God gave the 2 Bible verses, which is Matthew 9:37-38 and 2 Timothy 2 verse 1-7. The reason why I'm holding these 2 Bible verses is that I received the vision from our lay pastor's vision through 8 people. So I pray and keep in my heart to continue this movement according to a lay pastor's last message. Do not cease the remnant movement. And for the other one, which is 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 1-7. I started hoarding through YEI and also prayer journal according to my time schedule last year. Through 2 messages, I could realize that after God gave me the gospel, God is blessing me to carry out the word missions. So from there, I could have assurance that God will use me, my family line and church to carry out the word missions. And these Bible verses have common thing actually among the two, which is disciple. And God clearly told me through our pulpit pastor that the word evangelization is fulfilling through disciple. So I could share with these two Bible verses. And with the covenant and vision, God is giving me the dream, which is RUTC leader and school minister. For the RUTC leader, I am holding on to the covenant of Isaiah 6:30, 13, 61 to 3, and 62, 6 to 12. Just look back my life. It has totally changed in RUTC. In the RUTC, I was able to know who I am. Knowing myself as a remnant or remain one, I could stand and shine the light of Christ as I walk my covenant journey by following the path of our late pastor and Pastor Kim and our remnant ministries. Remnant minister RMs. Because of this RUTC, my covenant journey could start properly within correct path. And I am raising the remnant who dream the same RUTC according to the church covenant of 1000 RUTC. Whenever I look at this RUTC, Isaiah 62 verse 10 is really fulfilling. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people, build up the highway, remove the stones, raise the banner for the nations. And for the school ministries, also same reason with RUTC. As one of the graduation student of the HMIS and also the one of the remnants who is training in the RUTC, God showed me the value, reason, and meaning of this ministry by giving evidences. And both the RUTC and school are utilized as a platform, watchtower, and antenna to save and discover with the gospel education the gifted individual and hidden one who will continue this movement like our college Filipino remnant students in the church and also young remnants. And my graduation batchmate Paul told me that his life also starts from the harvester, and he learned nothing, but he learned only gospel here. And he even applying the breathing prayer in his daily life. Upon hearing this, really summit time and all the events like Thanksgiving worship or Christmas party which related to the gospel in the schools are not vain. It is really working as a life for each student. Through all of this, I could see that it is the eternal masterpiece of only gospel, evangelism, missions, and posterity. With this CBD, I am walking the journey of 237 Healing and Summit with the image of college student and middle 사역자 in my 24 dream. So I am preparing the RUTC leader, school minister within the image of pastor's wife. Actually, I thought I will be either pastor or church officer. But God allowed diverse time schedule to embrace to be the pastor's wife. Even though I am pastor kid, I saw the importance of the pastor through our pulpit pastor Kim. And as I saw Pastor Kim here in the missions field, I could learn a lot. And many things has changed. Such pastor's happiness become my happiness. And according to the word Rebel you gave that fundamental mission is coming from your family. With this, God guided me to see the unspeakable many circumstances of pastor and also the 3611 of pastor through my father. Whether judging it, but God really opened more my eyes to see more importance and valuable of pastor. And to give the heart to confess, I want to stay my whole life for God's servant life, as I saw how my mother shared a great forum to my father. It was first time for me to see my mother in different way. And God will surely carry out the word evangelization through church. And pastor is the one who lead the church. So the importance role of pastor's wife is putting in my heart through God. And I embrace this as my mission. From there, God really firmly imprint my heart about pastor, church, and posterity. And for the P is about 237 Healing and Summit Nobody System 24 with the direction of personalization, disciplization, and globalization. So every day I lead the masterpiece through the church system as the eternal masterpiece and my personal three-courtyard masterpiece. Actually, there are many things to share, but for today, I will share my 3 todays during the problem and answer. Lastly, 777 prayer. For the 3 todays, actually, this is my before. I mean, like 2020, February 27. Actually, I came here 2020, February 21. That was my first time 30 days. This is before and after, which is 2023, December 14. And then the way observation. It was my first time way observation. Actually, I don't know how to draw it. And then I just draw what I just based on my knowledge that I just learned from like imprint before. 2020 May, March 2. And then the right side one, actually, this is Teacher Harim's masterpiece. Actually, that time I don't know how to draw it, so she guided me how to draw. So, yeah. And then now this is after my problem and answer. Around 2022 October? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then, yes. Actually, sometimes we might think that 32 days is same, and also drawing way observation is same too. But actually, my covenant really start from here. So what I can sure say that it will surely work if you continue to do it with the faith. Can you see? It's really mine. One sentence prayer. Yeah. Actually, really many things share, but only this one. So that you know my starting point also. And then for 7/7 prayer, actually I am imprinting by writing. For me, writing is the best way to imprint. And I started this just few weeks ago when the pulpit gave us the mission to pray the 7/7 prayer by morning, noon, and night, right? Yeah, that's all. And then, so this is what I organize with the masterpiece. Yeah, actually output. And then this is a acknowledgement. Yeah, CVDIP designed by God. And the spiritual legacy from parents, pulpit pastor, RMs with HM Unity, and message given by Reverend Yu and Pastor Kim. And the Perfect Practice Team College Department of HMC. And then that's all. And if you want to know about more detail, you can personally come to me and I can share everything. Yeah, that's all for today. And then thank you for listening.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was really exciting presentation indeed. And I did not really give much of an introduction because I knew that she herself will very kindly guide outline of how much she's changes before she actually came to RUTC and after she came to RUTC, how much she's changed. So based on that, I think audience will have like a lot of questions of how and when was it that she's actually changed and stuff like that. So I will give the turns to the audience if you guys have any questions first. Or before you guys are actually thinking about the questions in the meantime, then I would like to hear from the panel first. AP Mam Joan first, probably.
So as I listened to your, let's say, CVDIP, I was so moved by it because I was able to see your start here in HMC. And with that, I was able to see that how the principle of creation is being restored to you. And with that, just like what I have said a while ago, I don't have any question to throw to you because I see and I witness the answer is really realistically coming to you as you enjoy the practices that you had here in RUTC. But I think there's only one thing that I want to ask you this time. Upon seeing according to the introduction, you are taking early childhood education. And I do not know what specific major you are having for the early childhood education. But I just want to ask you, as seeing your dream of school of having the gospel education, and upon seeing the what do you call this, the education here in the Philippines, what what realistic or practical application that you can have right now as a remnant, no, to really help the teachers in school and even in our church, or as an educator, future educator?
How can I
Yes,
realistically
it's
help
just
the
a simple
teacher?
thing is your practical application now
According
upon
to-
receiving the seminar, upon having that kind of course right now, and upon having that CVDIP that really comes from God, then what is that just practical application that you can say that, oh, this is applicable to this specific field or to this specific target?
Okay, thank you for the question. And actually, I just finished my first semester, and now just vacation. And then upon receiving the seminar, like I was really ponder a lot because, yeah, according to CVDIP, I choose that course because, yeah, also actually I didn't specifically explain, but in the IOTC dream, there is prenatal and infant covenant also that I hold on. And then that's the reason why with the covenant, I just entered the college. But you know what happened? Actually, professor gave the lecture 100% fully, but I just understand 10%. So, so I was really pondering at first. But actually, as I upon receiving the lecture and seminar, I could recover again, and then recover again my heavenly mandate and calling and mission. And that's just simple. But how can I practically apply on this is that actually I'm just in the beginning point of learning about my specific course, right? But as I upon hearing that, I was able to define what is the education about with the Christian, and then the word view of the creation of the principle of creation, and then how can I apply is that. And then actually from there, the one prayer topic came out that before I graduate, the Bible always gave us that you need to leave the masterpiece, right? But what I want to really like leave the masterpiece is that how can I'm praying to make the output of the contents of the early child education with the principle of creation. As I learned and then as I received the lecture from our guest speaker this week, my worldview also totally changed. And then I was totally imprint in me that Genesis chapter 1-2 must imprint in me before I do educate the others or children the first. So what I want to do is that I need to meditate first Genesis chapter 1 and 2, and then really feel whatever I see, even fan or the mic or the people, how God created this earth. In Genesis 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, God created the earth, right? And then guest speaker told me that you need to feel whatever you see, right? So that you need to know who is God and who I am, so that the gospel become only the answer. So what can I practically practice is that meditate Genesis 1:2, and then really praying and then conscience to feel how God is existing in everywhere according to His creator and then creation in this earth. And also memorize the 12 fruit of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, that's all. Is it right? Is it answer for you?
And now, how can you define you as future
Myself?
teacher? Yeah, you.
Define
Oh,
myself.
yes. Rebecca. Who is Rebecca 5 to 10 years now upon having this CBDIP?
Do you mean like how can I see myself far
Yes,
from
yes.
5 years and 10 years?
Yes.
Ah, yeah. After 5 years, I will graduate, right? But I'm not sure what will I do. But what I can sure is that actually when I entered the college, I just really hold on to chance. Actually, it is really uniqueness and the really unprecedented, never repeated answer for me to take the college year, because I'm just thinking that is there anyone who can just take the college within the RUTC? With that, I was able to choose and then make the resolution to here. So from there, I just really give all my life that. Actually, my parents just asked me when will you come back? So I don't know, I don't know. Until God wants use me to here or train here, I will just answer yes. Until when you want me to train here, I will just stay. And if you say go, I will go. Yeah. So I'm just praying that I might be teacher in the HMIS. If yeah, this is another unprecedented, never repeated answer if I can be the teacher in here, but I'm praying because holding on to the dream, it is not just simple, right? But it's really full life, right? And it full my heart. And then so I have just like thought that if I really wanna establish the RUTC and then school, I need to really give my life tithe to God. Or even like 10 years or more than like our remnant ministers that I saw in the RUTC, how they offer their life without calculation and anything. Yes. So that's how I just draw my future, 5 year and 10 years.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So I would like to ask that why you choose the educations for you to prepare the future, and what was the answer that you received during the seminar that we had just this week?
Actually, when I was grade 11, we need to choose the course, either HUMS or GAS, right? And then actually the dream that school and RUTC is be upon 2021. And then as I confirmed by church's covenant and the pastor's prayer and my parents' prayer. So what the conclusion about to fulfill my dream, RUTC and school is coming out, either take course of education or either take course of entrepreneurship. Because I didn't hold on just RUTC, but also hold on the school ministry at the same time. So it must go same together. So the output was two. But actually, when I choose the college, first try I choose education. Second one is business and entrepreneurship like that. But according to God's time schedule, I was able to enter in the education. Yeah, that's the first one. And then second one is that through the seminar, I was able to realize is that the age from 0 to 7 is a 결정적인 시기가 영어로 뭐죠? Critical, crucial age, right? And then within that age, everything is imprinted in nature, and then it can be solidified. Thank you. Yeah, solidified. So how that critical age is important, especially as I am taking that course right now. So I was think more far rather than me far, and then actually finding out and then checking. Okay. I mean through the lecture, I was really confirmed again, my confession. My heart confession according to the dream. So actually I told you, I'm just thinking that a while ago I mentioned that I couldn't understand lecture, just 10%, right? So I'm just thinking that should I stop? And then I need to train English and then learn more about English, and then I just re-enter the college again. But it was not. It was really totally answer for me. It is the right path for you to walk. But actually having the seminar within my college journey itself is a really big, really answer for me. And then especially also looking my life, and then I was able to find out more the needs of the education with the gospel, and then what is the reason that we need to give the education to the children with the principle of the creation, and also and also with the worldview of the Christianity. And then, yeah, because upon receiving the examples of the guests, I was really shocked. And then actually she mentioned some children that she teach now with the 12 fruit of the Holy Spirit, right? I never think that like children can children look at the like parents fighting with the 12 fruits of the Holy Spirit. Yeah, that was the memorable memory. I mean, that was that was more right memorable for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your, live presentation for according to your covenant. And so for the presentation matter, I like you to have this kind of interaction with people, like throwing out questions, listening to their answers, and trying to make the eye contact with them. But I'm not sure if the audience is trying to eye contact with you, but you are still trying to make an eye contact with the people. That was really very good attitude being a presenter, I guess. And I really like that too. And I have also graduated from this education major, and I know how you, because I a little bit also sympathize on the reason why you took this education course, and also the hardships that you are experiencing in the course. Like you said, you just understand the 10% of the lesson, that it really made you to think, oh, should I really stop this course, or should I really stop this studies? But even for me, not really, like understanding of the lesson is actually okay for me when I was studying college. However, one professor scolded me this way: you English major, you do not come to this course to learn English. So, but why are you so poor in English? You better to shift your course. So at that time, I was so taken aback, and I really pondered seriously if this is really my course or not. But I really understand those kind of journeys that you're taking. But I really observe you when you're in high school, though you're not really a student who were very studious back then in Korea. But I really see you challenging studying in HMIS. And also for the remnant here in our RUTs and in our school as well, that there are some students who are not that studious, like having this kind of complaints about some kind of programs. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to study in English? Something like this. But I think, and I also believe that you also can really stand as the model for them to really realize the reason why that they have to study. Challenge, I'm not talking about good in study, but challenging a study to really find out what they really want. So I really wanted to share. I really wanted to share to people right now the reason why you were really able to challenge the study after you came to the Philippines. I understand it was so hard to study in English, but I saw you challenging so hard to study in English, even if it's not really working out well. You asked from teacher, but I guess there must be some reason that you felt and you realized to challenge it much for your studies. So please share, our precious remnant, why you were able to challenge the study that much when you're in high school.
Thank you. Now? Oh. Sorry, I think I'm nervous. Before I stand, I didn't feel like quite nervous, but phew. Okay. The reason why I'm challenging her about to study, actually, as I share, I was so headache, right? And then when I stay in the Korea, the reason why I didn't study is that no reason for me to study. Actually, in Korea, I don't know why should I study. Why? What is the reason for me to study? That much I don't think about my future. It means I just live my life within just my today. I just live one day bug. Yeah, there's no anyway, but after I came to the Philippines, what I realized is that um, study is the really like mandatory, right? For everyone in this earth, right? Really, there's none except tribes. But I believe that even tribes, they have their own education in their yeah unity. But for me, actually, what I can share is that study is the one of the way for me to realize the gospel. And then, most of you guys didn't attend the seminar, but actually, seminar like speaker surely told us that spirituality and then intellectuality, and then the other one is a characteristic. The three of them must go at the same time together. Actually, most of the remnants who are trained here can possess the spirituality and then also the character. But with two kinds of that, we cannot do word evangelization. So the study is the one of the skill that we can do word evangelization. Actually, when you enter in the college, there are many students, really many students who is really smart and then so interact and they really give to the individual. There are a lot, right? But what I hold on is that as he mentioned that, okay, actually I didn't care about my score much, but I just put all my effort when I finish my assignment. But as what teacher Peter also saw me, there's one person who saw me that, like, how are you really trying that effort? Like even you get like low score. Actually, from there I was able to really share the gospel. Yeah, there's one case before, and then the other one is that when I realized the gospel, God really gave me the power to finish the study. I don't know how can I explain, but it just take place. Do you know what I mean? Like this, when you really realize the gospel, actually for me, as we live the day with the street days, right? But there are times that we face a problem or conflicts or crisis. Sometimes everything is crumbled down, so no power to do anything. For me, actually, I'm just one of like that person. So even in study, also same. Like when I really crumble down, there's no power to the study. But when I really have a power to live my life and overcome the problem as I see the God's plan, there God give me the power to do the study. And then from there, the reason why I am studying that much hard is that actually not for the study, meeting with the pastor and then meeting with the friends or meeting it like senior or junior, there is clear another plan. So I just use study as a tool for me to professor and then like meet friends. And then when I put really study hard, I was able to get a chance to meet my professor face to like one-on-one. Because if I really study hard, he noticed me. Like that student is the one who really answering me hard, right? So actually that was my religion professor. And then I met him one by one. So God gave me the chance to share a forum with him. So actually he is the professor and at the same time he is also the father in the Catholic religion. So God gave me the chance like that, like in that way. So I didn't consider study just for my grade, but I just use it as a tool for word evangelization. And also what he told me that it can be the evidence. As I really put my heart that much, God really gave me the answer each problem. Yeah. So actually from the study, I was able to taste the 24 prayer. So with that, I can share to the next remnant who take, the path. Yeah, like this. Is it? Yeah, answer for you? Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your answers. I really pray that this answer will also take place on other remnants as well. Okay. And yeah, just last question. So you have been through this journey with the answers and covenant being fulfilled, sometimes difficulties turning into an answer. And we also received New Year's message. And how do you really what kind of answer do you expect to receive for this year?
Weight, concentration, and challenge. Actually, Korean personality is really doing fast, right? Actually, when you notice about my speaking so fast, right? Because of the speaking fast, sometimes I couldn't speak properly, right? And then it's also same with everything, study and the walk of faith. If I really think everything is so fast, the answer that God wanna receive, that God wanna give it to me, I might lose, right? But actually, that's what I realized as I walk the covenant journey until now. So this year, I don't really expect the big, but I just wanna learn and I wanna have a prayer system to wait and then concentrate within my 24 that I can also relay, and then that other also might influence and show me, so that I can challenge even study. If, for example, if I understand 10%, if I understand 11%, that's enough for this year. But yeah, like that, little by little, weight, challenge, and weight, concentration, and challenge. From there, I believe that God will give me the evidence of eternal masterpiece, eternal portion, eternal legacy, and eternal covenant for me to live. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all the panels and Rebecca. Is there any question from the audience? Do we miss anything? I cannot really see fully the audience side, but if there is any, I would still like to take a couple of questions if possible. Nobody? Yeah, I see one hand raised.
Yes. I very much. Yeah. 하면 되는 거예요.
네네.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting really nervous whenever I hold like microphone. So I also very much agree with teacher Peters on two fronts, which is spirituality and also how do you balance or maintain, your church life and also your actual life. Because I think his point can be like pretty much summed up in this very famous phrase. I think that I've saw it somewhere, which is. Faith won't save you, but also doubt won't save you, but that also means faith doesn't pay your bill. So in other words, like there are two aspects in life that you have to manage together while you're taking the covenant journey. But my question is like people are really struggling with self-destructive habits. I think they're.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you well. Can you speak more loud?
So sorry. Yeah. I just understand. I really get Teacher Peter's point. But my question that is also running back of my head for quite so long is how do you deal with your problem? I mean, the kind of problem that is pretty much created by yourself. Because speaking of addictions and speaking of self-destructive thoughts, they're just stay there for so long. They're just stay there and never, they never seem to go away because it becomes part of you. Becomes built in you, becomes entrenched upon you. So I was wondering, how do you deal with your problem, like your self-created problem? Because I believe, like, if there is a will, then there is a way. There is very it's let's put this way, right? If you have will, you can figure it out. You can do much of everything. But even if there is a will, there is actual problem that become part of you that you don't really seem to get away. Then how do you really how do you solve the problem? Like how do you deal with the problem?
Okay, thank you for your question. You mean how do I deal with my problems, right? Yeah. Actually, as I mentioned in the last part about the P, actually I saw you my before and after about my 32 days in way observation, right? And then actually, how can I deal my problem is that through the church system, early morning worship, breathing, 32 days, meditate the dictation message, and then dinner worship, evaluation forum, and then do the drawing way observation, and then having alone time, and even weekly evaluation, and a Saturday message and Sunday message. Actually, I want to share it all because there is each meaning of each system. But of course, first time, but we need to think properly first. We cannot fix the problem, my spiritual problem, but we can use that as a way that we can enjoy the gospel whenever it comes, and then so that we can turn our mind that it is not a problem anymore, but there is clear God's absolute plan for me to go the next step about my covenant journey. Of course, actually, all my CVDIP is coming from all my problems. I didn't share much, but everything is really coming from the absolute impossible. But what I can share is that just continue to do this one without, sometime, of course, it's not take place evenly, but it's also my standard, right? Whenever God gave me the answer, it took time. Even Daniel, when he prayed for 22 days, God gave the answer just first day through the angels, but it took 22 days. But within 22 days, Daniel realized something and then get as his evidence, like it's same. For me, of course, whenever I meet the problem, I just do according to what I'm just doing. But the day that God prepared, God give me the answer. Like also AP Paul share me that we cannot fix the problem, but whenever he before to God, God always answered that if you have that problem, it's okay. If you have more problem, it's okay. Just go in the other way or wrong way, everything is okay. But he just told me, when you do it continuously, God really give the feeling of the Holy Spirit. And then one day, it just disappeared. I mean, not really exactly disappear. I didn't care the problem or consider the problem as the problem. So I just do and then put and then really continue doing with one heart and full heart and continuation. Yeah, of course, every day, like way observation, it didn't come to me the move, right? Sometimes it can be like religious sticker, like problem, like practice, right? But if you really put doing and continuously, though it seems like nothing is taking place, but one day, God really opened my eyes and then see and then pour down all the answers. So so I was able to overcome my problem, but still there, but I didn't consider that as my problem. I just overcome and find out the God's absolute plan through that. Yeah, so that's how I deal with my problem.
The reason why I asked this question is because we're talking about 3 courts, right? So there will be people at the pre-peri. So in other words, we are at the centers of this floor. But for outsider to understand the concept, it's either punishment of fear or rewards whole for rewards. In other words, God punished me for something I did in the past, or God will make this situation better. So it is kind of drives them to do an actions. So I don't think that is a proper way to, I think, take covenant journey or let's say enjoy the gospel per se. So that's why I asked you.
Okay. With this question, we can actually have much more forum like outside of the puppet. So we are almost coming to an end of today's CVDIP Bartizan. Let's give all the glory to God and thanks to the presenter and panels for today's CVDIP Bartizan. And please, Elisha, let's share about this forum that you asked about, like off the puppet. Let's get back to the worship for today. Thanks. Bye.